Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Questions and Answers. This series where we just ask important questions about the Christian faith and give you a straightforward answer to help you grow in your faith and hopefully teach you how to share your faith with others. In the last few videos, we've been walking through the 10 Commandments, and we're going to continue that today. The question today is this: what does God require in the 6th, 7th, and 8th Commandments? And the answer for each is this. The 6th is that we do not hurt or hate or be hostile to our neighbor, but be patient and peaceful, pursuing even our enemies with love. The 7th commandment is that we abstain from sexual immorality or sexual sin, that we live purely and faithfully, whether in marriage or in single life, that we avoid all impure actions, looks, words, thoughts, desires, whatever might lead to those things. And the 8th commandment, we learn that we do not take without permission that which belongs to someone else. We don't steal. And also, the truth of that one, as we expound on it, goes even further to say that we wouldn't withhold any good from someone who might need it or benefit from it. So let's break that down. The commandments say, don't murder, don't commit adultery, and don't steal. And that seems pretty straightforward, but it's actually a little more in-depth than that. In Romans 13:9, Paul writes this: for the commandments, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not murder, you shall not steal, you shall not covet, any other commandment are summed up in this word: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. And that's the key. These commandments aren't just about what not to do. They're calling us to live a life of radical, Christ-centered love for others. Martin Lloyd-Jones reminds us that we like to keep the 10 Commandments until Jesus comes along and interprets them in the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus says everyone who is angry with his brother is liable to judgment in Matthew 5:22. He also says everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart in Matthew 5:28. Suddenly, murder isn't just about taking a life. It's about hatred, bitterness, and dehumanizing others. Adultery isn't just a physical act, but an internal desire where your eyes dwell. It's about lust. Stephen points out that Jesus raises the bar on these commandments, not to crush us, but to show us that our hearts are the real issue. He writes that you don't break just a commandment, you break the first commandment every time you break any of these. You're breaking the commandment to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and you're looking to other things for meaning, value, and pleasure that are not God. Even the 8th commandment, you shall not steal, isn't just about robbery. It's about being generous. It's about not withholding good from others when you have a chance to help. So what are we supposed to do when we realize how short we fall? Stephen again gives us hope. Jesus Christ is the second Adam. He obeyed every command perfectly on our behalf. He was faithful, pure, generous, and full of love. And where we are selfish, Christ was selfless. Where we fail, Christ fulfills. Because of Jesus, we're not crushed by the weight of the law or the weight of our sin. We're freed to obey him with confidence, not because it's on us to earn our salvation, but because he is the one who saves us by his perfect works. So, what does God require in the 6th, 7th, and 8th commandments? He calls us to love our neighbor radically, to love our neighbor the way we love ourselves, with our hearts and no hate, with our bodies and no impurity, and with our hands not taking what isn't ours. as we consider these things and as we look on them, we need to be honest about our own lives in ways that we failed to love others well and to look with the lust of our eyes on another person, or to withhold good, or even to take things that don't belong to us from others. And we need to confess those things to the Lord and receive the good forgiveness that only comes through Jesus. We'll catch y'all next time.